The Fire Within podcast. You need a sustainable plan, the right mindset, and the knowledge and inspiration to stoke the fire within. Just like the phoenix, you can burn your old habits, never turn back, and emerge completely anew. There are no shortcuts.
Welcome, Fire Within community. This is the Fire Within podcast, where we talk about all things health, fitness, and music related.
Yeah, I think so. You just got back from Floyd Fest, right?
Yeah, man. 5 days of music in the mountains. Unbelievable bands.
How many shows did you see?
I think close to 60. 11 a.m. to 2 a.m.
What was the best one?
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. So there's a band called Litz, Swim in the Wild. They were pretty good, too. But it's kind of hard because there's such different genres and styles. It's unbelievable music this year. I saw a local band from Raleigh, a lot of people know of, called American Aquarium.
Yeah, I like those guys.
Yeah, they had a blistering set. Enjoyed that. Wish I could do it all the time.
Yeah, so it got you thinking about music and its effect on health and wellness, and so do an episode on that.
Yeah, man. We're going to talk about music today and how it can improve your health. And there's all kinds of research, scholarly studies, Scottish studies, there's all kinds of scholarly studies, research, and things that quantify the data from a scientific standpoint. And then there's also just personal experience. So I doubt there's anybody listening that's not affected in some way, shape, or form by music.
And I'm just curious as we get into it, like some of the things I'm curious about. Does it always help? Is there some instances where it doesn't help?
That's interesting. I would think that if the music you're listening to has an association maybe with somebody from a negative relationship or something like that, perhaps it could spur on memories that can lead you to some short-term depression. That's just me surmising. I've done absolutely zero research on that, but maybe that could be.
I was just reading a scholarly article, and it was basically saying it matters how you intend to use the music. If you use it to fight stress or if you use it to escape a situation, it can have a much different vibe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I got teenage daughters, and so sometimes I think, yeah, I can see how listening to that music would put you in a good mood, and sometimes they listen to what I like to call teenage girl sad music. And it's, there's no way that's helping you out if you're listening to teenage girl sad music all the time. There was another thing that I was seeing as I was doing a little bit of research was the fact that it's unanimously studied and proven that music is good for your health, but I guess it's not if you're a musician because they have a heightened state of depression. That's an interesting thing.
Now, that would actually be a cool thing to research. We had Ryan George on a lot of episodes back, and he posts his Instagram account as This Tour Life. And so he sets up and does all the road crew stuff for tours, and he travels all over the globe. And we talk quite a bit about how music affects depression in musicians. Yeah. And the suicide rates and what that road life is like.
I bet it's got something to do with some of the stresses in particularly
time associated
with being a musician. Because I'm looking at another study here that's saying that playing music is also found to be positively impacted feelings of depression and anxiety. It quotes a couple different studies that found the same thing, one in 2018, one in 2013, one in 2014. And the idea of playing a musical instrument is apparently very good for you as well when it comes to things like reducing depression and anxiety.
So the overall arching theme I'm getting is it depends on the intention.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you use it is what it boils down to.
Yeah, we try and be somewhat balanced on the show.
Yeah.
Now, I am a little biased. I was a music major. I taught for 4 years and thought I'd do it for the rest of my life until I lost 84 pounds, just fell in love with fitness and felt I could make a bigger impact here. And it's tough to live on $30,000 a year. Shout out to our teachers out there. We need you. You do something amazing. I wish you got better pay.
Yeah, and it always seems like the band teachers are usually in the category of really good teachers.
Oh, yeah. I was teacher of the year when I left. True story. I got the plaque and everything. I got a parking space. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so I think it does depend on the intent, how it's used. But I think...
And you would think it has to depend on, I'm not going to say the genre of music, but the messaging of the music has to have something to do with it. Because you're filling your head with something. Like you would think there would be a difference between listening to positive music for 4 hours and listening to murder, death, kill for 4 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it has to affect your mood.
Sure it does. Although it might be cathartic and let out some of that angst. So again, I think it's the intention and the person's mental state and maturity level when he's listening to that. Because sometimes it'd be fun to throw on some Screamo Foo Fighters or something. Great for workouts. And
yeah, we rarely work out to Willie Nelson. You work out to Foo Fighters. Doesn't get you.
Just a bridge over troubled water. Oh, yeah.
Give me some of that smooth jazz. I'm about to hit him for some best.
So I think it can go either way. I think there's probably a lot more on the positive side than the negative, but that's just me surmising. So there's a pretty decent article written by North Shore University Health System, and a couple of the points that I want to elaborate on from that was, I thought this was pretty interesting. They say it's heart healthy. It shows that blood flows more easily when music's played, can also reduce heart rate, lower blood pressure, and decrease cortisol, which is our stress hormone. It can also increase serotonin and endorphin levels, which are the things that boost mood, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, serotonin deficiency is a lot of what our SSRIs and depression drugs are trying to target. So music can be a natural way to help boost that, which I thought was pretty neat. Now, it's also interesting, I don't have any research in front of me, but you hear all the time people with Alzheimer's, dementia, and they can't even remember people's names. But when a piece of music is played that they've heard in their past life, they can sing every single word, and it just lights up a part of their brain that allows them to do that. And it's created some pretty touching moments with family and stuff when they can put on a song and that person where they're having a tough time communicating just come back to life for that time. So I'd be interested to know more about that connection.
Yeah, I totally agree personally with that. A bit of study that has been documented that it does. Music helps you remember. And Lori and I we've been married for 21 years, 22 years, something like that now. And on our honeymoon, we only listened to one CD.
Yeah.
And we drove 5 states away from where we were. And anytime I hear a song off that CD, I'm right back into the honeymoon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because it does associate with it. I think that's why people often just their musical style, genre choice stops at high school. It's everything's great right now. Life is great. People are like, let's lock this in.
No, I got a job and I got bills. Screw this.
I'm going to country music.
Do you care sharing what the CD that was?
It was, oh man. What the heck was the name of it? I think it was Dive, or the main song on it was I'm Diving In. It was a Stephen Curtis Chapman album.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was a long time ago.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Talking about the effects of it on your heart, I went and tried to figure out what study they were quoting there and found another study on that. And they said, agreed with it, essentially, but said, take it with a grain of salt. Music can help your heart. Yes. Is it as good as exercise?
Probably not.
No, it's not. Is it as good as diet?
Now, if you're dancing.
Probably not.
Now, if you're dancing to the music, one of the coolest things, this is my 3rd year at Floyd Fest, and I see these people in their 70s and 80s, and the guy I go with, one of my best friends, he's 62. I have a hard time keeping up with him. I mean, he goes to 3 or 4 shows a week. And it's got to be something with it, being out there dancing, listening to it. I think it's has somewhat of an anti-aging effect, man. And seeing all these 70 and 80-year-olds out there at Floyd Fest in the middle of the sun, 10, 11 hours a day, it's pretty remarkable. So I bet there's a connection in there somewhere. And actually on the mountain, a lot of people are barefoot, so you're grounding. I think we did an episode talking a little bit about grounding too. But I think dancing is great. It's a form of exercise, lymphatic flow, gets the muscles moving, lowers glycogen and sugar levels in the body. So there's a lot of benefit there. I'm sure there's like a scale tipping to how many drugs are you taking?
There's other factors that go in.
So if you're tripping balls on acid,
you're not working.
Yeah.
So there goes some stress.
Now, you mentioned earlier that music can help you remember things. And I think this is a key reason why a lot of things are taught to children with some kind of tune or a song. I still remember the days of the week in Spanish from a song, Lunes, Martes, Miércoles, and there's always a tune behind it, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all those types of things. For some reason, it helps connect things in the brain.
Locks it into memory.
Now, this North Shore study mentions that it manages pain. And I think what you were saying, Joe, was that it helps to turn off fight or flight to some degree. And we know that the nervous system when in fight or flight is going to heighten those pain receptors. So it can be used with pain management in a lot of clinical areas, whether it's Alzheimer's dementia patients and other things like that. We'll use music as a way to calm patients down. And apparently it can help with pain symptoms as well. So can bourbon.
Yeah, I think it's It's also mentioned in this study, and so I'm kind of looking up other articles, that it's effective in palliative care, like people in hospice care.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same approach right there, that it lowers stress, it lowers anxiety, and lets the body focus on other things other than being stressed and full of anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a cool use for it. I know for me, especially after my divorce, I always had music playing, especially if you're married and you're used to having this house full of people and energy, and then you go off to living by yourself. Sometimes that can be such a stark contrast and lead to some pretty deep depression. So having that audio backdrop, I think, helps a lot of people cope with that. So I could definitely see it being helpful with that. And podcasts too. I love podcasts. Oh, this is a podcast, isn't it, Joe?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot that.
It's a heart healthy podcast.
That's right.
Finally, a sustainable approach to meeting your health goals. The Fire Within app, available now on Apple and Android. What you get is an intro to strength training guide, comprehensive exercise library with over 200 exercises, a comprehensive nutrition health transformation course, a 6-week meal plan, over 70 recipes, a 6-week health redemption strength training course. This is for use with people with equipment, and then the same course, modified for body weight exercises. You'll also receive a 6-week Inferno Abs Core supplemental program. If you download our free app right now, you'll get access to the podcast, exercise and app quick start, recipes, and more. For a $29.99 a month subscription, you'll get the health transformation course, full access to the exercise library, the weighted course, the body weight course, the Inferno Abs, recipes, and the podcast. So what are you waiting for? Try it now for free today. Download the Fire Within app.
Hey guys, I wanted to take a minute and talk about a really cool brand that started called Love and Life. They make t-shirts, apparel, and all kinds of stuff. And I bought one of the t-shirts. It's super, super comfortable, and I love the positive message. I think it's important to spread some positivity these days. So hear it from the man himself, Brian Wallace, who started this company. Show him some love. Check out his website, loveandlife.shop.
Growing up, our traditional family vacation was a beach getaway. As a kid, my favorite part was building sandcastles and jumping in the waves. As an adult, my favorite part is watching my own kids do the same, while the waves and sea breeze wash away my stress. These memories are my happy place. Love and Life apparel and accessories is designed to take you to your happy place. Whether it's sassy tees for girls' night out, beach therapy, or sharing your faith. Anytime you want to escape, Love and Life takes you there, one unique shirt at a time. You can be confident that when wearing your Love and Life apparel, you are having a positive influence on yourself and those around you. It's amazing what a shirt can do. Express yourself at loveandlife.shop. That's LUVINLIFE.shop. Follow Love and Life on Facebook and Instagram to be in the loop on new design releases and inspirational content.
There's all kinds of qualified studies talking about the benefits of music and music therapy, which I hadn't really even heard of as a term.
Well, that's a whole degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had quite a few friends who followed the music therapy route. In fact, the keyboardist for the band I really liked, Swim in the Wild, go check them out. It's amazing, tons of energy. But their keyboardist actually is going to be leaving tour to start a job as a musical therapist, which I thought was really cool. But they make all kinds of difference, especially with autism, with all kinds of things. But they're badly needed. It's an amazing career choice, and it can make a big difference. Now, another point in the North Shore study was it increases workout endurance. I thought that was pretty cool. It boosts physical performance and increases endurance during a tough exercise session, according to North Shore.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
That song that just gets you amped up,
Yeah.
gives you the little bit you need.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Like I said, you're a lot better I'm a lot better with AC/DC on than Willie Nelson when it comes to working out.
Yeah. I played a lot of Foo Fighters when I used to work out at the gym before I got my own. And there are some qualified studies showing that there's actually increased muscular response when listening to mood-boosting music that you enjoy while working out, which I thought was pretty cool. And that was another study, part of that study was to tackle whether or not screaming while lifting weights increased.
Yeah. And I remember we talked about swearing too.
And I'm going to be candid here. I enjoy a good swear word. I think there's a place and a time for it, but it can be cathartic.
I think we talked once before. There was this Netflix did a show about the history of some of the swear words, and they basically brought up the point that if one were to cuss when trying to stand pain, they can stand more pain for longer if they cuss while they're doing it. And the methodology for that was sticking their hand in ice water and having people, some could swear and some didn't.
Maybe that's why we need a parental advisory on leg day versus other days.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. It's pretty interesting.
You have to wonder if that's the genre of music has anything to do with it.
I wonder if it does. In college, I used to get on the treadmill to like Beethoven and crap, so I don't know. It might depend on the person.
Again, I bet it goes back to that intent. Is it music you like? Then it will probably have a positive effect.
Right.
So it seems like that, without a doubt, there's a ton of science to back up that music has a positive effect on your body and your health. And although we might not be experts in it, there are people that are experts in that it is its own field of study called music therapy. And I think it's one of those things that we'll probably continue to learn more about, and then it'll be one of those deals where it's, what we used to think was a little bit woo-woo or not really true is, no, here's exactly why it's true. And that's what tends to happen. Science tends to catch up. But what we can say with some authority is that we know that music is good for your health. And so let's make some recommendations.
Absolutely.
We're about to make some prescriptions.
Yeah. I enjoyed the heck out of Litz. They're like Pink Floyd on steroids, but if you get a chance to check those guys out, they're incredible musicians. There's a new up-and-coming guy. His name is Isaac Haddon. He's 18 years old. He started when he was 3. And Eric Clapton is to have said that you're already better than I am. And after seeing a couple sets this week, I would agree. So check out Isaac Haddon. He's got the Isaac Haddon Project and the Isaac Haddon Organ Trio.
Yeah.
The On the Rise group that really blew us away, there's a group called Swim in the Wild.
Swim in the Wild.
Yeah, they're pretty fantastic. That's the one where the keyboard is actually leaving to take on a music therapy job.
And we mentioned, and I like it too, the American Aquarium.
Yeah, the Raleigh.
So I've been listening to an album lately that I really like, the Jack White's new album called Entering Heaven Alive. It's kind of like folk music. It's not what you'd expect from the guy that is well known for Seven Nation Army.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Yes, check those guys out, man. Can't imagine a world without music.
Yeah.
I saw a funny meme that said, Earth without art is just eh.
What's your go-to for like fun music? Like, I want to have some fun.
Oh, the Revivalists are great. I just discovered a group at Floyd Fest called the California Honey Drops. I dare you to be in a bad mood and listen to those guys.
I always really like, when I'm looking to be my mood lifted, I usually end up going to Weezer.
Yeah.
I love like their cover albums.
That's good stuff. There's so much great art out there, good artists. I like my end-all be-all is music. I was telling Michelle, we spent a couple grand, went to Universal. I spent a couple $100 and went to Floyd Fest, and I would take Floyd Fest over Universal and Disney any day. That was my Disney World. It was just phenomenal. The mood boosts you get at the shows. If you're an introvert, it might be tough, but I really recharge with extroversion and meeting people and socializing.
Yeah.
So for me, it's different. And if you're an introvert, you got Spotify. It could just be you in your kitchen with some earbuds on or whatever. But I think it makes a huge impact. We know what it does for development and why it's a part of school curriculum. So support the arts any way you can. Take some of that music supplement, man. I think it can do some pretty amazing things for you.
Take your musical supplement.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you got a lot of value out of today's episode. If you did, go check us out at firewithinnf.com and sign up for Refuel, a weekly email with recipes, videos, and tips to stoke the fire within. Also, you can join the Fire Within community by being added to our Facebook group, and don't forget to follow us on social media.